Hello, church family. Ron Branscombe here. I get the blessing of bringing chapter 11 of the book of Hosea. And as we have seen the picture of unfaithfulness from a wife in regard to a husband in this particular book, we also get a great, beautiful glimpse of God's heart and how the parenting skills of God and how they are utilized. And so in chapter 11, the first two verses, we get the picture of God's love for Israel during the Exodus, during the early stages. Calls Israel coming out of Egypt, my son. And we get a reference here of a great parenting observation. Verses 3 through 4, we get the picture of love being demonstrated in the wilderness. God specifically saying, I've taught Ephraim to walk and taking them by the arms, referring to them as children, just like you and I have done in regard to raising children, or for those who soon will be doing that one of these days. You, as a parent, those child's first steps and the ability to help them navigate just walking around is beautiful. It's a great sight. But think about it from the standpoint of God being our Father and the joy He gets, and that's the picture I get here, the joy of helping us. Sometimes we don't want that help, but the joy of helping us is what's on God's heart. And so He's demonstrating love here. It also talks about, I led them with cords of human kindness, with ties of love. That's in verse 4. And so we're just getting a picture of that God's heart, the compassion, the words kindness, ties of love. Those are all words tied to parenting. Verses 5 through 7, we get the glimpse of God's love being long-suffering for Israel. And He could have just totally wiped it clean and started over again, but He continues to be long-suffering today. The other thing with this picture is I see our country, the United States of America, walking obviously the same path of Israel. The blessings of God, but the turning away. Verses 8 and 9, we get a glimpse of God always keeps His promises and is always ever faithful. And then in verses, let me step back. Verse 9, I love this verse. I will not carry out my fierce anger, nor will I devastate Ephraim again. That's not necessarily that part that I love, but this is the part that really is great. For I am God and not a man, the Holy One among you. I will not come against their cities. Just a reminder that I am your Father. I am God. I am holy, the Holy One, the holiest of holies. And just that to me is very sobering. Verses, to wrap this up, verses 10 through 12, God gives the hope of future restoration. And so we see many facets of God's love in chapter 11. I pray that you have a blessed day, and I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you're enjoying the study through the book of Hosea. God bless and take care.